Michael, we're very excited to be on our way to the coronation concert from Cross Hands in Carmarthenshire. We watched the spectacular coronation yesterday on TV and feel so lucky to have got tickets for tonight. Enjoy, Chris and Carolyn. This is Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at midday. This is Catherine Cracknell. The government's defended the way the Metropolitan Police handled anti-monarchy protests during the coronation yesterday, saying officers had to make tough choices. 52 people were arrested in London, many before protests had even started. The Met said it had acted in a proportionate manner. Speaking on BBC One's Sunday with Laura Kuenssberg programme, the Culture Secretary, Lucy Fraser, defended recent changes to the laws on demonstrations.
This right to protest is really important. We live in a democracy. But what we've seen over the last few years is a change in tactics of protesters. We've seen them stopping people going about their day-to-day business. And I think what we've needed to do is redress that balance, because people also have a right to live their day-to-day life.
The leader of the Liberal Democrats, Ed Davey, has ruled out joining a coalition with the Conservatives after the next general election. The Tories lost more than 1,000 council seats in Thursday's local elections. But while Labour made gains, it's unclear whether the party's on course for a parliamentary majority. The Shadow Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, said his party was confident it could win the election outright. Russia says it shot down several Ukrainian drones attempting to strike its forces in Crimea overnight. There are also reports that a village in western Russia, close to the border with Ukraine, has been hit by shelling. Here's our Europe regional editor, Paul Moss.
Ukraine doesn't admit to attacking targets behind enemy lines, but it has recently talked about hitting Russian infrastructure as preparation for its much-anticipated counter-offensive. That's perhaps why it sent drones to strike at Sevastopol, home of Russia's Black Sea naval fleet. And shellfire apparently hit the Russian village of Spodary-Yushino. All this only a day after a pro-Moscow propagandist was blown up in his car, hundreds of kilometers inside Russia. Ukrainian forces, it seems, really are taking their fight to the enemy.
The Arab League is expected to readmit Syria at a meeting in Cairo today. Syria's membership was suspended more than a decade ago after the regime's brutal repression of pro-democracy protests. Celebrations to mark the King's coronation are continuing over the long weekend. Street parties are being held across the UK for what's been dubbed the Coronation Big Lunch, with some communities visited by members of the royal family. Lindsay Brummett is the programme director of the Eden Project in Cornwall, which has coordinated today's event.
We're expecting up and down the country, right from the Shetland Isles to the Scilly Isles. We've got big lunches happening everywhere, and it's everything from a sort of you and me and a cup of tea in a back garden right through to Morecambe. They've got the whole seafront covered in tables. We've got community carnivals happening, we've got dog shows, we've got family picnics. So I think we're expecting all things of all shapes and sizes, the length and breadth of the country.
Vietnam's registered its highest ever temperature. It was just over 44 Celsius. Other countries in the region, including Thailand and Myanmar, have also been experiencing extremely hot weather. That's the BBC News at 3 minutes past 12.
Thanks, Catherine.
Listen live on the BBC Sounds app. BBC Radio 2.
She's also on the concert tonight, Katy Perry. She'll be lighting up the place like a firework.